2 minutes past. So that's inefficient right there. So let me just go ahead. I'm gonna do a brief roll call real fast to see what we got. So Cibolo, I didn't see Safi yet. Is Safi here, Cibolo? No, okay. Okay, sounds good. So Chris Hubbard's here. Jonathan Smith of Converse. Lavernia, is Morgan here from Lavernia? Didn't see him. Okay, Isaac from Marion. No. Humberto. No. Okay, Brad's here from Crystal Clear. Brandon's here from East Central. I'm here from Green Valley. Dan here from Martindale. No. Justin's here from Maxwell. Devin's not here, but Keith is. Then we have Desty from GBEC. SS Water, Carlos, no. So we have, let me see here. Okay, sounds good. Just so everyone knows, I'm gonna, when I do my update, I'm gonna put, how many folks we had in attendance to the Board of Managers meeting. I was asked to do that, so I'll do that. Other than that, we'll get started. First thing up is the meeting minutes. Did anybody have a chance to review that and have any beef with it? I didn't see any issues with it, so we're not going to pull a board meeting and not approve it. So without objection, we'll move on to the next one. Okay, water precipitation and drought update, Adam.
Yeah, it's been nice getting all the rain and everything. So when you see the first slide here in the packet, basically the surface water looks really good across Texas, where you may think that we're almost out of this drought we've been in for the last several years, but the truth is that that we're not. We still have a lot of catch up to do. That water disappears really fast from all the rain. Yeah. Not a lot to say on the drought report. It's been kind of the same as the last month, but I would like to mention that we do keep an eye on the Blanco River flow, and it doesn't really impact us all that much, but the Blanco basically comes into the San Marcos River before the Hayes Caldwell plant. And so that additional flow does kind of help. I don't know if you recognize, but over the last couple of years, there's been no flow going through the Blanco. So that's nice to see. They've been getting some rain up in that area, and the Blanco area where the head of the Blanco is at, actually.
Okay. And GBRA is just kind of holding steady, right?
Yes. And, if you take a look at the Canyon Lake level, the inflow, really what you want to see is you want to see a flow that's constantly over the 90 cubic feet per second mark, because that's what GBRA releases out of the lake to meet all the obligations that they have downstream of the lake. So that includes also their hydropower that they have, and then all of their water rights that they have to meet downstream.
Okay. All right, got it. So rain is good. Understood. Any questions about the drought or anything? Okay, that's good. You can go into the treated water production update.
Yes. One good thing that the rain has done for us is that it's kept the production rates down at all of the facilities. So this constant rain is nice. What I've seen in the news is that they're expecting that this year El Nino is going to be really strong. It hasn't been this strong, I guess, like in 158 years or something. And a strong El Nino in South Texas means a very mild summer with quite possibly a lot of precipitation. So I hope that it continues to rain like it is, and maybe we will eventually get out of this drought.
Okay. I'm assuming that the better flow in the Guadalupe River is kind of helping our intake point out here.
Yeah. Believe it or not, I mean, the few times that we've had some major downpours, there's been some higher NTUs, which is the sediment in the water, the cloudiness of the water coming into the plant. And so our operators have to make adjustments to treat for that. But all in all, the water has been, for lack of a better word, more fresh than it usually is.
Yeah,
so
makes sense. Okay. All right, anybody have any questions on that and the production numbers? Okay, I don't have any questions unless anyone else does.
Will you add Humberto to your log, your attendance log?
I did.
Okay, I'm sorry.
I did update it. What? I checked you off, so you're good, Humberto. Okay, cool. All right, item 3 treated, no, we already did treated water update. Where are we at? Are we at item 4 now, I guess? Water treatment improvement projects, Lake Dunlap. Bobby, there's Bobby. Okay,
Good
Bobby.
day, y'all. For the Strander project, we have all HDPE in place right now. We're scheduling a shutdown for June 10th, so we've been rehearsing that. And once that shutdown's, in place, we'll be doing the tie-ins, and then shortly after that, we'll be installing the temporary disc filter systems. Any questions on that one?
What's so when you say the shutdown, what's shutting down? Just Lake Dunlap facility
Just
itself?
like Dunlop. Yes, sir.
Okay, kind of what's going to be our procedures for that one? And how long it's going to be?
I got saved for about 7 hours.
Okay. Are they tying in the strainers or something?
The HDPE, it's a temporary system they're going to be tying in order to start the demo on the current system.
Okay. And did I saw a bunch of change orders like in the packet, or did all those go through the construction committee? I hope.
Yeah. Do you want to go through those, Bobby?
Sure. Let me see.
Is that for this project though?
No, we have some for this project and some for the other one, but
Phase 1 and phase 1.
Okay. Go for which ones do you have for this project, Bobby? Oh, I'm looking at it. Change order number 6, Keeley.
Yes. So let me get up to date.
Is there? Okay. So you have change order 6. Okay. All right. What are these things all about?
Trying to get orientated here. Okay, change order 3. That is so there was a change order previous that was added to the project capital.
Mm-hmm.
However, on this project, the contingency was factored into the overall price. So we had to do a deductive and then put the amount back at the original contract price.
So, I mean, so the construction committee already looked at it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So you don't need the board of managers to do anything with it, right? It's not really in our charter to do change orders, but.
No.
Okay.
GVC has arrived.
What's that?
GVC has arrived.
Oh, why, thank you, ma'am. Okay, I got you.
He's being very studious over his roll calls. Just
Okay, so this one, change order 3,
I can't.
is deducting contingency out of the bid, right?
Yeah, so
Yeah.
change order 2 was for that same amount, and it was for additional work required for utility locates. And so it got approved. However, I didn't realize it at the time, but contingency on this project was part of the base contract.
Yeah.
And so originally we executed change order 2, and we showed it as an increase in the contract price. This change order is just to correct that and show it as a deductive change order to the contingency,
Okay, this is a
But it-
deduction.
but it doesn't change the contract price.
Okay, cool. So that one's 2.
Yeah.
So that's,
unless there's anything specific for the board of managers, I don't know why we'd go through the change orders.
I don't know why we would either. But they were in here, so that's the only reason I'm asking.
I think they're good information for us to have, but that's why
Yeah.
I'm spending a whole amount of time on it. I would,
Yeah,
unless there's something specific here that anyone saw in it.
let me just look. Is there anything to highlight though? Let me just ask it that way. That we need to know about, Bobby?
I don't believe so.
Okay. All right. I'm okay moving to the next one then. If there's no questions. Additional membrane,
I received comments. Those will be sent to the engineer of record today.
what's going to the?
The comments
Oh, the comments.
Yes,
to
sir.
their initial report.
So comments back to Garber.
Yes,
That's the one Garber's been asking for, right?
yes.
Okay, cool. All right, Wells Ranch.
Wells Ranch, at all three sites, they're still doing some electrical work, you know, as far as panel work and generator work, pulling some wires here and there. We are pending the ATS systems, which are scheduled to arrive sometime later this year. Well, from memory, I believe it's, around the October timeframe. But of course, we are pending delivery and of those before we can schedule that work.
Okay, the construction committee told me that that once this contract gets done, there's still some more wiring to be done.
No, the wiring will be complete. I mean, I guess we touched briefly on the generators itself. Seems that Lofton has a maintenance contract with us directly.
Mhm.
So whatever generator repairs that will be assessed will be after this project closes.
Okay.
And that'll be after the fact, whatever costs incurred.
I mean, I'll rephrase my question. I mean, I think what I understood, and I'm not saying I'm right or anything, but Mr. Sherman told me that when this thing is all installed, there's some other step that needs to happen before it's actually functional. Do we think when this project's over that we're actually going to have the backup gens going to be good to go?
I can't speak to that. I mean, from what I understand is once this project is completed and it's signed off,
Yeah.
Lofton will then have to go in and evaluate the actual generators themselves at a cost separate to this project,
Okay. So we still have more costs to look at.
possibly.
Okay. That I'll just ask, I'm not the construction chair or nothing, so I don't want to do that, but I just want to make sure you guys work closely with them because he made a comment to me. I can't remember what it was, but he said there's maybe some additional cost, and maybe that's exactly what you're saying about Lofton.
That'll be probably what he's talking about. I mean, once, the project's going to be, to 100%. And from what I understand, during discussions for this project, before it went out,
Yeah.
it was noted that CRWA does have a contract with Lofton separate for maintenance, and
Okay.
it was kept out of that contract. So whatever, I guess, is found afterwards will be at a separate cost.
Okay. Got it. All right. Hayes Caldwell.
And real quick on the
Mm.
Wells Ranch generators.
Yeah.
Yeah, we were tracking. There's a warranty on the generators for 5 years, but we're already, I think, 3 years into it at this point, and those generators obviously aren't connected and working because that's what we're paying Ardura and Weifeld, if I remember correctly, to do the
Yeah.
work for.
Yeah.
So we may find some challenges when they get hooked up and put under load. So just be aware of that. I think that's important.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Okay. You moved to Hayes Caldwell?
Hayes Caldwell Phase 1, we're getting near to closing that out. We have identified a few last minute items, well, not last minute, but items that need to be changed with a little bit longer lead time due to the materials. Also we are in the process of gathering information to, go to bonding.
Yeah, we're going to notify the bonding company. They just keep dragging their feet on finishing this out. So we feel like we have no other choice. We sent a notice to cure. They didn't respond to that as required. And we're just, feel like at this point we don't really have any other recourse but to get the bonding company involved in it. Help us get this finished out.
Okay. Well, it's my understanding that y'all had a meeting with Hayes Caldwell Group too, right? About,
We did. That was to talk about potentially adding a third mobile unit. It wasn't part of the Phase 1
okay.
project.
So the change order that's in the packet for Phase 1, is that Phase 1 change order? Or is that Phase 2?
There are two.
Here's one for Phase 1.
Yeah, so change order 3, is it? Was for deduction. So there was lightning protection was added to the punch list. It's a substantial walkthrough, and it ends up the lightning protection was not in the plans. There was a spec for it. There wasn't a line item for it in the bid. So DN Tank pushed back and said, well, that, wasn't in the plans.
Yeah.
So Bobby negotiated with them, got a credit. Ardura, said that they thought that the credit was good, that the number was good. However, there's concern that came from the construction committee. Our intent, because we're just wanting to close this project out, it's, nearly a year past the completion date.
Yeah.
Our thought was to get that credit. We kind of saw it as free money. But there's concern that might not cover it if we add that to phase two. We requested from the contractor, because typically with concrete and ground storage tanks, you don't need lightning protection. We asked the consultant to give us an engineering opinion on that. They still recommend it, although they fell short of saying it's required. So we don't want to go against them, but right now we're waiting for a cost from Keeley to see about potentially adding it to the phase two project.
What's on top of that tank? Because the SCADA already exists, right? So there's not a SCADA antenna on top of it. What's up there?
I don't think there's anything up there. In my opinion, it's not necessary. I've, managed projects for several ground storage tanks, and we never had lightning protection on those tanks. But it's a dangerous game to go against the engineer's professional opinion, because if something does happen, they get to wash their hands of it and walk away. So.
Well, if you tell an engineer, and sorry for the engineers in the room, to make it perfectly safe, to put a big plastic bubble over the whole thing and have us pay for it and cover it, right? So there's obviously some acceptable amount of risk.
I was just thinking we'd put Bobby up there, hold a coat hanger up, and he could be our lightning protector. What do you think?
I thought
You can give
maybe
it a shot.
Full hat.
Yeah.
There is a grounding system installed on the tank. But the engineer is, still recommending that we install the lightning protection. Engineers also have a tendency to have big egos, and so they don't like it when somebody questions their design.
So is it safe to say that phase one is still having closeout issues, right? Phase two, what's going on with phase two? Is there any updates on that one?
So phase two, in the last 2 weeks of the tank rehab, stainless steel will be arriving this week on site, and then they'll have people in there to complete the work on the system there. We'll be doing a walk next week for the tank repairs, and then we'll work to get that back online.
Okay. And then the mobile membrane unit is the one that y'all had the meeting about, right?
Mr. Chair, I have a question.
Mm.
Do you have plans for phase one and what phase two is? Do you know what those are? Mr. Chair? I'm asking, do you know what they are?
Mm-mm.
Um,
I don't know what they are now.
it's been a while. It'd be nice if we get the plans, what the project was for phase one, what it entailed, and what was phase two. So I'm asking if we can get those plans.
Certainly.
And I'd be remiss to introduce Tiffany Howe. She's our interim operations and distribution manager. She comes with a degree in chemistry, and she's been working with us for a while. So she's been promoted as interim, and she's running our operations department. There may be times where I'll not be able to make your meeting, so I'll send her over to be
Okay.
her collaborative person to try to help you answer some of the questions from County Line. So I'll leave it at that. Thanks.
And Tiffany, I did get your email Monday, so we'll make sure we add you to the contact list.
Just generally real quick for the plans, phase one was a tank and some piping work, and phase two is actually the ozone equipment, additional electrical work, and I think the ozone building and stuff generally.
Was phase two?
Phase two, yeah.
Yeah.
And that's fine, but I just want it written down somewhere.
Yeah.
What are we working towards? What is going on? Because I've got concerns. I'm sure we all have concerns.
Well, it does seem like, I'm not an expert on Hayes Caldwell treatment plant, so I mean, it's fuzzy to me for sure. So understood. Okay. You want to talk about the mobile membrane unit or no?
There's other people with more knowledge on that than I have.
We had a meeting with the Hayes Caldwell members to talk about the need for a third mobile unit. Right now with the one stage of the Coke filters online and the 2 existing mobile units, we're able to treat the daily flow. We would not be able to treat peak flow in our current status. And because of the danger of imminent failure of the existing Coke filters that are in service, staff recommends that we acquire a third mobile unit, and then come up with a plan for getting permanent, the Coke membranes replaced. If we add a third unit with 80 modules, we at the meeting we gave out a little bit of incorrect information. Adam followed up with the Paul representative, and they were thinking that the unit that we currently have leased was a 80 module unit. It's actually a 96 module. So if we add a third unit that has 80 modules, with the 3, we would be able to treat the peak flow for all the members. That would not include the additional 255 acre feet from Martindale, but with the current capacity, current water, we would be able to treat peak flow with those 3 units. And if we move forward with acquiring a third unit, the general consensus in the meeting, though not everybody agreed to this, was that the best option to move forward with would be leasing a unit. There's actually one available now. Although this would be too soon to actually bring it on site. We have to make preparations, to be able to put it into service. So that's, what staff would recommend to the board on Monday is that we, acquire that third unit. But there's still a fair amount of discussion, I think, to be had before that final decision is made. So we've put it on the agenda for the Board of Trustees as an item to be discussed.
Okay.
When you say that the third trailer will be enough to meet even the peak, which is great. That's what I want to hear, is that we're actually able to produce the contracts. Does that include the existing Coke system, or is that completely separate? Is that just Paul on its own?
That's just Paul on its own. We'll,
Great
of
answer.
course, squeeze every bit of service we can out of the Coke filters. We just, have really no reliable way to project how long they're going to last. They're well past their useful service life,
Okay.
or predicted useful service life.
Okay.
How far past are they now? I mean, I think 3 years ago, we were talking about them being close to end of life, or at least by like 25 or 24. How far are we? Somebody knows, David or Adam knows, I know.
Well, if I'm not mistaken, I think what was it, 2020 that we put the third rack, the last rack on. And so generally, our experience with the Cokes, excuse me, allergies, we've been getting, 4 to 5 years, we would start considering maybe replacing them. So they're right at the end of their life right now.
All right. Anything else to hit on Hayes Caldwell? So we'll probably talk about that item again when we review the agenda. Anything else on Hayes Caldwell? Projects wise. Okay, sounds good. Let's go to Wells Ranch. Carrie.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah.
I failed to mention, I like your proactive approach about us, Canyon Regional doing plans. It's very effective. We had talked at one time about doing CIP plans. We talked about doing project plans. I've yet to see a plan develop here. With regards to the membranes, County Line has some concerns, some issues. There wasn't a plan developed. When we were told about this, what's concerning to me is I'm being told right now that the discussion we had was missing some information. The fact that the membrane that we bought is 96 as opposed to 80, because there was some questions I had. If we go through a third lease, we still have to get another lease to get peak flow. So information is not correct. You know, the information not correct coming from staff, and it's very concerning to me because it's costing county line money. And I'm only concerned about county line. And so I would advocate that, you know, plans to be developed, and this is not something that happened overnight. You know, general manager's been here 2 to 3 years. This has been happening since then. And for the inactivity for a plan is very concerning to me, especially when we were told last go around, we had an option to purchase or to lease. There was no discussions about a third trailer. If there was some information provided to us, purchase or lease with a third trailer, I think the decision would have been different then. We wouldn't have purchased the second trailer. And so that's very concerning to me. The fact that there's no plans. And as Green Valley, which you represent, eloquently put on its document that was sent to the board, this has got to stop. I mean, we need some plans here. And so that's our concern. You know, certainly if we can substantiate what these next moves are, what's going to happen at Hayes Caldwell, you know, we'd feel comfortable. At this point, we don't feel comfortable. You know, one of the big issues we had with San Marcos was there is no plan. Show me the plan. Very concerning there. There's no plans here. So I would ask, as you being the rep for the board of managers, you continue to try to get plans. You know, probably won't get a plan for this one because I'm told it's too soon, which makes no sense to me. You know, this issue's been going around for 2 to 3 years, maybe longer. And so again, I'm imploring you to, as projects move on, that you get those plans that you're asking for, because it only makes sense. And at the end of the day, you and I and others are responsible for our ratepayers, fiduciary responsible. And if we would have better information for the second trailer, maybe we wouldn't have bought the second trailer. And then again, it's very concerning to me right now that I'm hearing that the second trailer has a capacity of 96 when we were told at the meeting that we would have to possibly get another trailer to deal with peak demands and all this other stuff. So it's very concerning to me. The information is not correct. So again, I appreciate what you've done, and I'll support you as we look forward to trying to make this thing better. And that's the intent of my speaking today. Thanks.
Thank you, sir. I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, that would be helpful, Kerry, actually.
I'm sorry.
I mean, so the idea of having like what direction we're going would be helpful, actually. Because some of these things, that's the reason why we talked about a while back about, you know, the overarching master plan would be good to answer some of these questions. I mean, and I know we're working on that. I mean, we've been talking about it for a while, but
Yeah, we've received our response statements, we're reviewing them right now. Intend to come to the board in July to request approval for a contract for a master plan that includes all the facilities. My understanding is that the last one that was done did not include Hayes Caldwell.
probably did.
I'm not sure what incorrect information was presented. All the information we presented at this last meeting was correct. So I'd be interested to hear what was incorrect. The one clarification, so the first unit that was leased had 96 modules. The one that we purchased, the second unit had 80 modules. But at any rate, yeah, at that time we weren't, you know, considering a third mobile unit. I don't think anybody's questioning the need for a comprehensive master plan. But right now, the more immediate need is to make sure we can provide the water to our member entities.
Yeah, understood.
And so that's what we're working to do. And then I would like to have input from the member entities on this comprehensive master plan so that we can do it right and make sure that we have a good plan moving forward. Having these 3 mobile units gives us some flexibility towards, you know, putting in, you know, the permanent membranes to replace the coat filters.
So we have a plan, right? The plan was designed by Ardura to replace the Coke filters.
Yes.
Was that design complete?
My understanding is that it was complete a few years ago.
So the plan's there, right? The plan was to do that, but the cost was like $18 million, if I remember correctly. And everyone said, wait a minute, we don't want a new building and new filters and new everything and $18 million that can't treat any additional water. That was my understanding. And so this is the alternate to that plan, right?
Yeah. Lets us treat water until we can, you know, get the plan, either reviving the current design, or there's also the option of
being able to use existing building.
Being able to use the existing building. That might cost us a little more in redesign. that could be offset by, not paying for a building. We just need to, see what the best path forward is. And
If I may interject, you are correct, Brandon, but again, it's changed, right? So it's $18 million. Now it's these trailers, but now it's these trailers. Well, that's what I'm talking about, these trailers. We weren't told when we were going to purchase this that we were going to need a third trailer. It should have been told to us that you're going to need an additional trailer based on, as you put it, Brandon, it's based on simple math. Nobody told us.
Yeah.
We just told we buy a trailer, release a trailer. And that
We
was
knew
it.
that we were going to need another trailer to meet contracts. We knew that. We even discussed,
Again, let me
let's just buy a third trailer and trash the plant, operate off the trailers.
Well,
We've had that conversation many times, Humberto.
let me just finish, Justin. Let me just finish. Again, you can be upset as you want, but at the end of the day, Justin, I have to pay $192,000 to that in budget. Okay, and that's my concern, right? If I would have known, then we wouldn't have said, buy the trailer, use that $2 million to go get another trailer. But we exhausted the $2 million, or whatever that trailer was, to buy, right? You could have done that. That's the plan I'm talking about. Tell me how long we can go with trailers. Why did we have to go buy that trailer?
But what's the alternate, I guess, is the question. Is it the full design by Ardura? Because the trailers are the maximum size it can be. You can't get anything bigger. You can't just go with a second trailer that's double the size and have economies of scale. They're as big as we can get. So what's the alternative? Like if you'd have known there was going to be a third, which I agree, I remember the discussions being there was going to be multiple, but what's the alternative if you weren't going to do a second one?
Alternative is how can we afford this, right? How can we afford, certainly the $18 million out of the question. How do we afford this other one, right? I can't afford it. You're asking me to pay $192,000. This is atypical of what happens here at Canyon Regional. No consideration as to how we have to pay for these things. And it's expected you pass it to us and we pay it. We've added staff, we've added all these things. We would have known when to plan what it's going to cost us. We could have budgeted. We could have understood. Maybe we don't need a building. Maybe we don't need staff. I'd rather get the membranes. It wasn't told to us. That's the issue I have. There was no plan. It's just kind of like, well, okay, well, let's put on operations maintenance. Fine.
Yeah.
That doesn't make sense to me. We can't always be doing that.
If we lease a trailer today, when do we start paying for it?
I would have to see, if we brought it in today, we'd have to probably start paying for it next month.
But you mentioned we had some money in the membrane fund to cover it till next budget.
I don't know if it's in the membrane fund, but we still had money left over from the 2025 budget that's unused that we could consider using to cover those
There's
costs.
potential that we wouldn't have to start paying members until the next budget cycle.
Yes, sir. That's correct.
So they're
Yeah.
Part of the plan, tell us that. Tell us what it is. Tell us we can do this. It's supposed fund. It's supposed to me having to cut out a checkbook for $192,000, which I don't have.
Well, interesting. Okay. Thanks for the discussion, by the way. I don't think we're going to advance it any further.
No,
Here, but I mean,
just
anyway,
it's the right forum for it. There's an
Yeah.
operational challenge at a facility. We're at the board of managers level.
that's exactly right.
But before you skip on to item 5, is there anything on the pilot study or did my ears miss it?
Yeah. Is there anything on the pilot study that needs to be discussed?
Still TCEQ.
Okay. Okay, Wells Ranch, Gary.
So we actually have a meeting today, this meeting,
Oh, yeah, that's right.
the participating members to talk about potentially engaging a landman to start acquiring the additional leases that we'd like. We are right now still in negotiation with the owner's rep for developing the P3 agreement.
Yeah.
We plan on bringing an item to the Board of Trustees in July to get approval to execute that contract.
Okay.
The firm has agreed to go ahead and get started, and they're, working at risk basically so that we can start, kicking this off and get it moving. They know we're in a hurry on that one. And so right now, from the time that we get started, they're looking at 8 months to issue RFQ, 10 months for an RFP to get a P3 firm engaged.
Okay. And we're meeting right after this, right?
Yes,
For
sir.
the affected parties. Okay. Cool. Let's spend some time on well 2 and 14.
Well 14 is currently having electrical work done. Once the contractor's done electrical work, we'll call GBC in and have them tie it in, and we'll begin flushing and sampling.
Okay, what's up with well 2?
Well 2 is we did a substantial completion walk on 519, but that's just been a walk. There's been nothing issued. We are pending a I guess TCEQ review of the permit for Guadalupe County, I believe. Once we get that, we'll be able to meet the needs for the water at that well. However, we have to wait until 14 is done to wrap everything up.
Okay. Pardon me, but I'm gonna walk through this for a minute. So I don't understand the connection between well 2 and well 14. And I just don't get the connection between the two. So well 14 is having electrical work done right now. Well 2 is done. Substantial completion walkthrough has been done, but we can't pump because we're waiting for TCEQ to update the permit for gallons per minute or something.
I believe so.
Well, the Guadalupe Groundwater District has to
Oh, I'm sorry.
issue
Yeah.
the final permit. That gets sent to the TCEQ for review and I think more of a concurrence and approval.
Okay, because this has gotten it's gotten cloudy to me between, the two committees. I just want to make sure we totally nail this thing down. So well 2 is totally fixed, ready to go. We're waiting on permit approval,
There's been
right?
a punch list created, but we have not issued
And
any.
there's a punch list, so substantial completion is not done on that, right?
No.
And it wouldn't matter anyway because the permit's not back yet from the groundwater district.
As of right now, no.
And then is 14 similarly in that boat where you have to change the permit?
Not that I know of, no.
So it's just going to be the same GPM going back? No issue to the permit?
No issue to that permit, from what I understand.
But that one has electrical work done.
And 14 is in Gonzales County. It's not in
Or
Guadalupe.
so it's in a different, yeah, it's in the other groundwater district. Okay. Got it.
Which
So-
that permit got approved years ago.
That's correct.
So there's no issue with that one. So there's no connection really between well 2 and 14, other than the fact that they're both down at the same time.
And they're
Contractually.
Okay.
contractually, they're under the same contract.
Oh, they're under the same contract.
Yeah.
It's all one project.
So do we have to wait to turn them both on until this contract completely does substantial completion or no?
Well, so we were thinking maybe we would go ahead and get well 2 declared substantially complete so we could put it in service once we got the permits. There was some concern raised over that in construction committee.
Mm.
So we don't have to issue substantial completion. We can wait until it's all done. Our thought was just that the sooner we could produce water, the better off we are.
Can you articulate?
I'm sorry. I just
No,
want
you
to
go first.
just make sure black and white is well 2 has the substantial completion been issued for well 2?
I said had not.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not. Walkthrough's been done, but it hadn't been issued. Yeah.
So, Mike, you were at the construction committee meeting. I was not. I was out of town. What was the concern for splitting the two up?
My understanding, it was a warranty
Mhm.
on it. They would void the warranty.
If it was started without the permit.
But if we split them up, right? If we split 2 out of the contract and let it be substantially complete, get the walkthrough, get it finally done, get our permit, then we can start using 2 if we split it out. What was the concern from the construction committee? I don't mean to put you on the
I
spot.
couldn't tell you. My question is more around if we already, does the fact that we went to upgrade or upsize the permit prevent us from using what we already permitted? That is my question. And if not, if so, yes, say that. And I don't know if that's been said. And if not, I don't know if, I think Chelsea's working on it, so I don't know if she's here, but that would just be my question. If there was already a permitted amount,
You should be able to pump to that.
we should be able to pump
Yeah.
to that.
So from a permitting standpoint, no, we're not prevented from doing that. From a contractual standpoint, the contractor's saying it'll void our warranty unless we get that permit.
So that's how they're linked together.
Yeah. So that was a question from the construction committee then, right? Yeah.
Well, I think the bigger concern from the construction committee was that we declare it substantially complete. That starts the warranty period, and then we're sitting there not using the well.
Yeah.
And so,
Burning the warranty.
we
period.
felt like there would be a minimal time, elapse there. And we just wanted to be ready to, turn on the pump as soon as we got
Yeah.
permission.
I think we're getting in the weeds here, right? And I know this is Board of Managers, not construction committee meeting, but the staff should have the ability, if it makes sense, to take well two out of that contract so we can use it right away.
Yeah.
You know, we're here to talk about the operational things, we're talking about wells dropping left and right, having well two back online sooner.
It's
I
a
mean,
good thing.
give the staff the ability to do this. They don't have to declare it substantially complete today. They could wait a week or two as we get closer. That way we can get the thing back online rather than waiting for 14 to get back online. That makes no sense to me. I didn't sit in the committee. I'm not being critical of the committee, Mike. I wasn't there. Operationally for us here in this room, getting the well on sooner with little risk makes
No,
so much more sense to me.
It just takes me back to the operational point of
Yeah.
if the well's going to be down, what does that curtailment look like for Wells Ranch and for those that take that water? And that's a question that I still have for.
Well, that's
you know,
exactly
for
the
staff.
point. I mean, that's where we're going. It's okay. So what does this mean? So 2 and 14 are both down. What does it mean? You know,
Quick
and
question.
actually in 1, 2, I guess.
What's the current permit GPM compared to what we're going for? Anybody know rough numbers? 500 to 750,000 to 15. So we burned up a 150 horsepower motor because we ran it too slow. That's
Mm.
probably why they're telling you they're going to avoid the warranty. Because if you run them too slow, create some kind of harmonics, blah, 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 and grenade.
That could be a problem. But anyways, so the reason why I wanted to ask about well and 2 and 14, because it was not clear, right? I mean, you know, I didn't understand what was going on with, you know, the construction committee's concerns. I didn't understand here. But what I want to get to is like, okay, what does this mean for Wells Ranch overall? More of a, you know, operational question, because luckily we're in a wet year, right? So, I mean, so luckily demand's going to be down a little bit. So those concerns are less, but how much longer it's going to be and how long can we sustain with the wells that we have up and running?
I think currently we're doing okay, right? Yeah. Is
Because
that
people are looking at me, yes, yeah, we're doing all right.
I mean, so, but even with well 1 down 2, right? So that's 3 out of the wells that are down and we don't have any operational impacts.
Well, I mean, because it is a wet year, the impact hasn't been seen yet.
Yeah.
If it were a typical year, yes, we would see that impact. It
Yeah.
would definitely hurt.
So I
Um,
guess we're,
You know, and with what's coming up, and I don't want to steal Bobby's thunder here, but with the tie-in that's coming up at Lake Dunlap and different work that's going to happen over the next few months there, the need to have as many wells online is going to be vital for our operations. So, yeah, we definitely want to get these wells online as soon as we can.
All right, I get that part. Okay, so I'm hearing that there's no real operational impacts right now at the moment. We want to get well 2 back operational as quickly as we can. And what's standing in our way is not a contract or anything like that. It's more permit, right? Permit and combination of permit and.
Permit and contractual. I think we should empower the staff to be able to do their jobs, right? Why are we stopping them from being able to split them off if it makes sense and they're telling us that's what we need to do? And I didn't sit in the committee, so the committee may have had a really good reason for it that
Yeah.
eludes me sitting in this room right now. But my concern is okay, we get the permit back. TCQ's good with it. We could turn it on right now and fix it. It's going to stop raining, guys, at some point. And now we're stuck. What are we stuck waiting for 14 to get approved 2 months down the road?
Yeah, we're waiting on
I
the.
It
don't
doesn't
think
make
the
any sense to me.
construction committee tried to hinder staff. Construction committee was asking that question. The same question you're asking is the same question they were wondering.
Yeah.
So did the construction committee tell staff, no, don't split these up, or what's the direction? So staff, you're free to split these up if you feel like that operationally makes the most sense, what it sounds like to me.
Or is it not possible to?
There was a lot of behind the scenes discussion pursuant to the construction committee meeting that has caused staff to take great pause in moving forward because we're very apprehensive about moving forward with declaring that. If you're telling us you're okay with us doing that, then we'll be poised to do it. You know, we've done the walkthrough. Once we get the proper permits and approvals, then we can declare substantial completion and we'll move forward.
Yeah, the goal should be to get the wells back on as soon as possible. And if the path to do it is to declare substantial completion and get the permit going or get the permit approved, well, then that's the path, right? I don't think anyone's going to tell you not to do it. And I don't think it's the construction committee's intent to tell you not to do it either, if operationally it makes the most sense. And, and I'll talk to them to make sure that they understand the very same thing. But if we need it, we need it, right? And it's within grasp, if we can get through the regulation part of it, then fine, we should do it.
Yeah, let's get it back online as soon as possible before another one goes down. I didn't, again, I didn't sit in the meeting. I'm not being critical at all of the construction committee. They may have had some other information that I didn't hear. I just don't know why we're hindering staff on this. Like, the whole point is for the committees to kind of help get stuff moved forward and help get stuff in front of the full board in a more intimate environment where you can have more information and not bog down a board meeting, not to direct every last action of the staff, in my opinion.
I agree. We should move quickly. Okay, we beat that one to death. What about well one?
Well, one, the casing screens are all set. Pressure gravel has been pressurized in. They were getting ready to cut the top of the casing off yesterday. They said they had a couple more days with the rig there, getting it all lined up and everything. And then they'd tear down. That'd take them a couple of days. Another crew would come in first part of next week, start pump testing, and send the samples TCEQ next week.
Okay. So we're getting close to complete on well one, I hear then.
Well, then we still have to move all the electrical and stuff over there.
Okay.
Once they get all their stuff out of the way, because it's all covered in pads and everything right now. As soon as they get that moved, which they said would take them a couple of days, should be by next week, that'll all be moved, and then they start their pumping, and as long as it's out of the way there, they can, maybe the electric crew sub can come in and start bringing all the motor controls and stuff to the other side.
Okay.
They just got to move it.
So there's no other,
Less than 200 feet.
so if well one comes complete, let's say within the next month, give it a month, right? Okay, that's good. Is there any other wells that have any problems
Yes,
that we need to worry about?
yes. I got well 5. It's got a vibration in it that I need to pull at least the top probably 2 or 3 joints and replace the bearings on. And then well 7 is I'm going to say it's iron bacteria in there that's causing the issue. You turn it on and go to pumping, and you pretty well go down to less than 200 gallons a minute pretty quick. So we were going to do that last winter, but we haven't been able to. We didn't have the water.
Okay. So both of those, all right. So potentially we could have, I don't even want to think about it, 5 wells down, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If those well 7 and well 5 go down, that's bad. Yeah. Okay.
So,
More similar.
Yeah. All right. I don't want to think about it anymore.
On 2.
well, just real quick, what we want to do is over the next few years, put 2 to 3 wells each year in for complete, assessment and rehab.
Yeah.
Hey, crazy question. You know how we're talking about moving our surface water rights? Our wells are idling right now because we lost that 500 acre feet that was grandfathered in. Could we pump the water? Just to slam it out.
I don't know why you couldn't. It's something to explore. Obviously we don't have enough information here to talk about it, but it's something to explore. Yeah, exactly. If you got wells that could pump over there, and you do, I don't know, something to explore as a contingency. Yeah.
We're looking to get a meeting scheduled to talk about the short-term leases, and that'd be a good time to talk about an overall plan there.
Okay. You want to hit the raw water tank, and we're going to have to pick up the pace a little bit.
So the raw water tank, we just executed a task order to get an assessment done. The original problem that was manifested was cracks in the foundation. But that tank's old enough that, we felt like we should go ahead and get a full assessment and see what's needed to do a complete rehab. So STV is working on that now. And what we're planning to do is put money in next year's budget for the actual construction work to repair that tank.
Okay. All right, cool. I would just say, generally, before we get off Wales Ranch, right, and the wells, I mean, I think what we got to do is we need to schedule a maintenance plan for these wells, right? I ran into this at Green Valley. Green Valley ignored our wells for 25 years. I had to pull all of them, within the last 2 years, and it cost me a lot of money to do all that, but we hadn't done it for 25 years, and it was a mess. I mean, so now we've got a projected plan that says, it starts 5 years out, and we work through them year by year. And I hit my budget so badly because we now have a scheduled maintenance plan. I mean, so that's what you need to strive for, especially with a 15-well field that needs to be rotated, a couple of years. You guys know this. I'm speaking to the choir, right? But my system had the same problem, deferred maintenance. That was the problem. We didn't have a schedule, and it cost me a lot of money to get us a schedule now. So it's just really important to do. And we need it for the budget next year. So the finance budget committee asked me, says, hey, what about the schedule and maintenance for next year? Well, that's a great point. What wells are we doing next year? We need to put it in the damn budget and get that approved, which is coming up soon because first draft of the budget's due in July, actually.
Yeah, we have a budget committee meeting on the 16th of this month.
It's coming way up fast. Okay, let's go to general topics. Gonzales Water Resources.
I guess maybe we should schedule another meeting to talk about that. We had the meeting where Chelsea had gone through and presented different scenarios of, keeping different groups of leases. At this point, really, without a projected, volume to go for to try and get permitted, we really, don't have anything to move on. So really what we're looking for is some feedback from the potential member entities on how much water you might want in a Wilcox project in Gonzales County.
Yeah.
I would recommend that we make that decision and move forward just as quickly as possible so that we can start working with the groundwater district and get an application in for a permit.
So my problem with this one is, right, I mean, so you guys know it, right? We're sitting on a bunch of leases that we're paying for. All of us, right, are paying for excess leases. We got to figure out what to do, right? We just can't keep doing it year over year, hand over hand. And then there's other things going on, particularly with Gonzales Groundwater District, their moratorium, like how much are they going to change the ratio? There's a lot of different issues going on. It may be to the point, I mean, I'm just talking out loud here, guys, right? But I don't think a group like this is going to be able to figure it out. And if we have a meeting of all the entities, I'm not really sure that's going to figure it out either. We may have to go to the Board of Trustees and say, can we stand up a special committee with some representatives to sit down and actually study this problem? Because I don't know how to move it forward otherwise. Because what I'm afraid will happen is you'll call another meeting. We'll all come in here. We'll listen to the presentation, and then no one's going to commit. We're all going to sit here and look at each other. And I'm going to go, Michael, what are you going to do? I don't know. Humberto, what are you going to do? We're going to look at each other. We're not going to make a decision. And meanwhile, back
I'm
at the
not going to
ranch.
do anything because I'm not involved in that
Yeah.
project. So
Well, I know, but I mean, my point is we're going to sit here and look at each other. We're not going to make a decision on it. And we're going to keep paying over and over and over. So I don't know. I mean, we have to do something to break us loose from the logjam that we're in. And I don't know, Brandon, maybe we just say, hey, board, we just need to make a special committee to look at this.
Well, and I think the challenge though is how much do you let go? Half?
Well, that's exactly the point.
75%, 25%? What's Gonzales doing? They're going to have it.
That's
They're
right.
going to quarter it. Do you need these? I mean, it's
tough,
mhm.
but I don't think you're going to get a commitment on how much to permit out of anybody because no one has enough information and the cost of projects are so crazily high nowadays. You're not going to get a commitment. I mean, GBRA can't get a commitment for water secure out of people because it's so expensive. I mean, it's a challenge. I don't know.
Another thing that we're facing in Gonzales County that might affect some of the leases that we, had identified to potentially let go for Carrizo Water is now there's a public hearing or meeting. I don't think it's a hearing on Saturday. And I know one of the things that they're proposing, they have a bunch of proposed rule changes.
Yeah.
One of the things that they, I think, are going to be proposing is reducing the amount of water available from 1 acre per acre, or 1 acre foot per acre to 1/2 acre foot per acre.
That's crazy.
And I've heard numbers as low as, a quarter of an acre foot per acre. So that would have the potential to really impact, what leases we need to maintain to be able to meet our current, contractual obligations.
Yeah. That one's tough. I don't know how to deal with that one. We gotta figure out a way ahead. I mean,
Yeah, probably need to just make a determination on lopping so much of the permits just right off the bat, and then maybe holding steady on some amount of them until we figure the rest out. But keeping the full 100% of them probably doesn't make a lot of sense unless someone's jumping up and down for it, which they've yet to do.
we just need a recommendation. Let's skip some of these items if y'all don't mind. Short-term leases, that's a three-party thing. We're going to have a meeting, so we can skip that. Public-private partnership thing, that's having to do with the Bloomberg, and that's a 3-4 party event. We can skip that one. Master plan, do you have anything to hit on that one?
Nothing, just as I mentioned earlier, we plan on coming to the Board of Trustees in July with a recommendation for
Okay.
contract on that.
Okay, good. And then we'll have a meeting separately, I guess, on that one. Okay, facility needs and status. The budget committee has asked us to track the list of projects that the Board of Trustees approved, utilizing the remaining funds to 25. Do we have that list to go through?
I do not have that list for you, sir.
Okay.
I can, tell you that some of them, is the stuff we have moved forward with, but we'll develop a written spreadsheet and provide updates on that.
Okay.
Off the top of your head, what have we moved forward with so that we have a rough idea? Because I do want to make sure that we're tracking it for the board. I mean, we made the recommendation to the board to do these projects. We want to make sure we're getting them done. That way they're not lingering into 27.
So we moved forward with engaging the design teams for the intake at Hayes Caldwell.
Okay.
The gearboxes on the clarifiers, they've moved forward with. We've also moved forward with the design task order for the tank rehab. Any of the other items, David, that have been started yet?
The switch gear stuff back here, some of that,
David says some of the electrical stuff for the switch gear, sorry.
are here, we just need to get them installed,
Okay.
just need to shut down.
There were other items that were part of the fiscal year 26 budget that were outside of this list.
Yeah.
Are we doing those, or I think there was some small stuff at Wells Ranch and maybe here at Dunlap too. I'm sorry, I don't remember what they are off the top of my head.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll go back and look at them.
Well, let's do this because, the budget committee is, we got to have the list. Can you send that list to us after this? What the list is and what the status is? Because, the expectation is that every time we come to the board of managers, we pull up that list and we say what's been done, what hadn't been done, where we're at on it. Because the budget committee is requesting our list for 27, right? That somehow, and so if we're sitting here it's June right now, the draft budget is supposed to be out by the middle of July. The board of managers have input on what the next list is going to be for 27. So we're getting behind the power curve really quick. Right. And so the expectation is we have that list, and I'd appreciate it if you send it, to the board of
Yeah,
managers.
so we've got two, right? We've got the
Yeah.
appropriated fiscal year 26 list, been
That's right.
approved by the board, money's been
That's right.
go run, and then a list for 27 so we can have some of these items in the budget about what we need to do in 27.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
So we can help the budget committee, and it's really helped the staff speak on behalf of the entities to the budget committee that these are the things the staff recommends and the board of managers concurs with. That's what we're trying to do, in order to help push the ball forward. So we need that list in order to do that. But that's an express, request by the budget committee to do that. Okay, shutdown coordination. I know you mentioned the 10th of June. Anything else on that one, Bobby?
No, we got it for the 10th, and I believe Mr. McMullen sent out notices. So I just want to make sure we receive that and
Thank you, David.
ready to go.
Hey, those notices have been great. So I really appreciate seeing them, or I get them from my staff because I don't get them directly, but appreciate them. They're great. The discussions we've gotten on the trustee level about the different issues you've had. I don't know if Bill, if you want to talk about the most recent one with SCADA, or if you think the meeting's gone long enough already, I'll leave that into your hands.
Yeah.
But I appreciate the communication.
So I can say, on behalf of us, right? So the emergency contact list that you guys have been using has been working well, right? I mean, from our feedback, what we need to do is some of these things we need some names that need to be updated. So I have the list. I mean, some faces have changed, from the entities, but like for Green Valley's point, I'm not on the list, right? It's my operations manager and my water superintendent. They've been getting the communications from the operations side. I am perfectly happy with that because it's something less for me to do. And that's why I have people that do operations working for me. So it works great. That's been working good. Some of the other entities here may want to check and see if you got the right folks on your list. Right. And it needs to be updated. There's some missing, and some, anyway, I think that's working pretty well.
We'll get county line updated.
Yeah, it's working better. And, you now have a new county liner. So we've got to get that done. But I think that's been going good. The notification and the fact that the communication is happening and it's not the general manager is doing the work is even better. I mean, I love that. Right. I mean, that's the way it should be. We should be able to coordinate between operators. So that's good stuff.
If you have any updates for that list, please see me after this meeting so that I can get that updated.
I have it here. It's just the name and email who you want as your points of contact is all it is. Okay. Tank inspection. We don't have to spend a lot of time on this, so I'll just run it down real quick. We all have to do annual tank inspections. Well, Canyon Regional had a very interesting event where they dropped a GoPro on one of the damn cameras and got sucked into the pipe. Right. And what I wanted to mention to the team here is ask the Canyon Regional staff, is there anything, since we all have to do tank inspections, what did we learn? Is there anything that we can share across the board, from that event? We don't have to spend a lot of whole time on it, but curious.
Watch out what consultant you hire to do your, no, I think it was a freak mishap. The biggest failure was that there was no notification so that we could turn the pumps off while they were inspecting the tank.
Yeah.
And so the pump kicked on, it sucked the rover to the intake, and the GoPro camera actually ended up going into and through the pump. Our team was immediately notified, and they went out and started flushing. What we were unsure of was the lithium ion battery in the GoPro camera, which I understand is very small. We contacted some experts on this, and they said with the size of the battery, with the size of the system, even if it were broken up, the lithium that gets in the system would not exceed the MCL. We did extensive flushing, looked where we could. We never did actually find the camera. We feel like it probably got flushed out, when they were doing the flushing events. We just didn't see it. So, after some point, we, gave up looking for it and trying to find it. We looked in all the places we could figure where it might be caught up.
Yeah. I just thought that was interesting, that it happened, and I think, we all have employees on site, when we do tank inspections anyway. I'm sure you guys did as well. They weren't just out there sua sponte doing their thing. Yeah. So I think, lesson learned, it could happen. I just wanted to share that across the group that it did happen, the Canyon Regional, and we all have to do tank inspections. So might as well just use it as an opportunity. Okay, let's go to the review under the board packet, and then we'll get out of here. Now we'll just go down to the action items, general business items. We have a resolution to do an agreement with Paul to lease an additional mobile membrane unit. I think we already talked about that one.
Both of those are the change orders from Dunlap and Hayes Caldwell, B and C.
Yeah, the change orders, let me see, that's item B, item C. Yeah, that's all change order stuff.
Yeah.
So I don't know that the board of managers needs to make a recommendation to the trustees on any of those business items. Does anybody feel strongly that we do?
No.
Okay, I just won't include any recommendations then. Okay. Any other thing? Okay, any announcements for the group before we adjourn? Yes, sir.
Mr. Chair, I do see that your agenda, you left out the Alliance. I went to the Alliance meeting. There was some discussions about Green Valley and Canyon Regional.
Which one? I'm sorry.
Well, whichever one, because I don't see any on your agenda. Did you mention the Alliance, how the tie-in with Green Valley and Lake Dunlap, how that's going. Are you keeping track of that? So
you're
it's
talking
not,
about R1.
yeah, it's not part of the,
No,
so, I mean, if you just put it next time, just so
Yeah.
everybody knows what's going on with that.
yeah, that's a good point. We never talk about R1 here, and R1 includes County Line and, and Crystal Clear and myself. So we probably should add R1.
I plan on giving an update on ARWA in my report. at the
Okay.
Board meeting.
Yeah, that's good. All right. Any other announcements or anything before we adjourn? Okay, I apologize.